Okay, we're getting ready to start the cowling installation for the Waco YMF5. Tools required are going to be a safety wire tool, stubby Phillips screwdriver, a regular Phillips large flathead, a 3/8 socket, 3/8 box, and either a clamp style vice grip or a standard vice grip. You need two of them. Standard vice grips, you want to put some tape or something to protect the jaws from scratching the paint. Okay, so we're going to throw up the cowl. There's two halves. There's a lower half, which has the intake or the exhaust and the intake, and then the upper, which is the bigger half. You simply orient the propeller kind of in an up-down fashion, and then this can be done with one person, but two is best. You're going to take a step stool, or if you're tall enough you don't need one, and take the upper cowl and sort of throw it over the top, being very careful not to hit the propeller or the upper wing. Hand it to the person on the other side there. And then we're just going to pull it so it fits evenly over the cowl, over the engine. It's a good time to make sure that all the baffles are kicked forward for cooling before you tighten anything up. Also, there are what are called 4 cowl rods, and these are rods that extend from the back of the cylinder head to the back of the trailing edge of the cowling. There's one on either side for the lower, and there's an upper one for the upper, and that should match up to a hole in the upper cowl. There's one on either side of the upper. So a total of 4 cowl rods, 2 for the upper, 2 for the lower, and those help position the cowling. So right now we just we put in one bolt, and then a brand new lock nut on the back. With on top of the head of the bolt there's a urethane washer, and underneath there's a steel washer. So the upper cowl rods will roughly position the cowl, and then we'll be prepared to install the lower cowl here just in a moment. While we're doing that, there's some latches here on the inside, and those should be in. These are loose, but we want to have them in the up position on both sides of the cowl. Come around to the other side here. So again, can be done with two. Best done with 2 people, but it can be done with one. It's a good idea to put some padding or something on the floor to prevent any damage to the cowl. So here you carefully lift it up. Cowl goes under. We then take our clamps up front and just hang the cowl on there loosely. And you do this while you get everything sort of lined up. Okay. There you go. Now we're going to come around and put a bolt in the back here loosely, and then position the cowl rod to the corresponding hole. And you see this one's already got a urethane washer that's sitting on there. So that rod will go here, and that will position the cowling fore and aft. Alright, so we're putting that on. So on the trailing edge of the cowl, you'll see here, and this is where the long bolt goes through, and there's one on either side. So we'll put that bolt in and cinch it. Then we'll take our vice grips and put them inside here to bring the diamond plate connectors, which have a little Zeus fastener, together as well. So right now he's putting that vice grip in, and there's a lip inside of here that will attach to. You can see that we get sufficient amount of light there. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. And again, either type of vice grip works. The key if you use the jaw style is just to put some tape on there so we don't booger up the paint in here. Also, it's careful to note in this area here on both sides there's a locating pin. So I want to make sure that pin is lining up, and it's of course obscured now, but it's directly behind my finger here before we cinch this tight. So we want to make sure our locating pin is in. So now we're going over here, we're putting our bolt in. We're going to put a nut and a washer. That gets a washer on top and on the bottom. Again, that's a 3/8 inch box and a 3/8 inch socket, or 2 boxes or whatever you want to use. And you can see here our holes are just about lined up. We should be able to put in those fasteners, those those Zeus fasteners.
Yep, pretty soon.
Yeah, with relative ease. Some cowlings, like this one, have a secondary bolt on the inside. It just is a bolt and a washer and a nut to provide additional support inside the cowling. It's kind of a booger to put in, but there's one on either side. Not every cowling will have that. So it's going to take a few minutes to put that in, but to finish it up, we're simply going to take one of our Zeus fasteners, or there's 4 of them in the cowling, and that's going to go right in here on both sides, and then the second here, and then the 3rd and 4th on the other side. And then we'll come back and then verify that all these connections have been tightened up here. All of our cowl rods are tight, and those should move a little bit before you tighten them up. And then you've got the set up top as well. And then we'll come back finally and do a safety wire wrap on the cowl cam locks here. There's a small hole right there, so you wrap your wire around that, and then go around twice, and then twist it and give it a curly cue. Going to make sure you got good clearances down here on your exhaust. If the cowl rods are all positioned right and the cowl is again normally fits where it came off at, everything should be in pretty good shape. So we're having to tighten up that clamp just a little bit to make sure that hole lines up. And again, those cam locks should be a pretty easy fit. There we go. Boom, that's it. I want to make sure those are in there and that you feel them engage. Sometimes the people don't engage them properly or all the way and they pop out. You can also visually look at them from the inside to make sure that they're all the way in. And then here we go with the safety wire. Could be a record. I'm going to have to film you guys more often.
Yeah. Good show.
This normally takes 3 hours. Today we're doing it in 8 minutes. And that's what the large flathead screwdriver is to lock in that Zeus fastener there as well. Perfect. All right.
Did you ever get a hold of